We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
From the ancient granite-boned coast of Cornwall, where wind whispers over stone circles and the Atlantic crashes below, a different kind of signal emerged, a fiercely sci-fi alien folklore. This is the landscape that shaped Richard D. James' Aphex Twin, an artist as enigmatic and raw as the cliffs themselves, yet as complex and disruptive as a rogue transmission from unknown intelligence. His music, a sonic labyrinth. His persona, a meticulously crafted myth. How did this remote, ancient place birth one of electronic music's most influential and unsettling pioneers? We seek the Aphex code, hidden in the Cornish glitch. The Aphex Twin story begins not in bustling metropolises, but in the primal isolation of Cornwall, southwest England. Born in Ireland in 1971, Richard David James grew up in Lanark, Cornwall, describing a childhood cut off from the city and the rest of the world. This elemental solitude was formative. His early fascinations were purely sonic, tampering with piano strings, disassembling tape equipment. By 10 or 12, he was producing music, modifying junk, and later, analog synthesizers. A persistent tale, part of his lore, claims he won £50 at 11 for conjuring sound from a Sinclair ZX81, a computer with no native sound hardware, by manipulating its very machine code. Whether apocryphal or not, it underscores an early drive to bend technology to his sonic will. This path led him to study engineering at Cornwall College. Music and electronics went hand in hand, he stated. A lecturer recalled him perpetually headphone-clad, lost in mixes. He DJ'd at local pubs and clandestine beach parties. Part of Cornwall's nascent rave scene, claiming to have intuitively crafted sounds akin to acid and techno before formally encountering them, a creative response to the region's profound isolation from mainstream music currents. Central to Aphex Twin is an artfully constructed enigma. While early rave culture flirted with anonymity, James weaponized it, a cascade of pseudonyms, AFX, Polygon Window, Caustic Window, allowed stylistic freedom while fracturing any singular, easily digestible artistic identity. His media interactions became legends, rare, often conducted under cryptic conditions, laced with deliberate vagueness, mischief, and outright misinformation. He once described himself as, quote, an irritating, lying ginger kid from Cornwall who should have been locked up. He avowedly dislikes dissecting electronic music, believing words diminish its abstract power. This is not mere eccentricity, it's a form of performance art, the cultivation of myths, the use of his own unsettling visage. Interviews as platforms for misdirection all point to a deliberate construct. His persona is a complex, shifting shield, a performance of elusiveness itself, allowing him to navigate fame while fiercely protecting his core.
So what exactly were you doing on stage? It was like you were like lying down almost with this weird little computer and some twiddling some knobs. What were you actually doing?
Relaxing. Just making myself comfortable doing my
Smoking
music.
cigars and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The bond with Cornwall seeps into cultural motifs. Visual interpretations often fuse traditional Cornish or Celtic aesthetics with a stark digital sensibility, forging a unique techno-pagan visual language. Aphex Twin's career is a tapestry woven with potent myths and bizarre tales, blurring reality, rumor, and James's own playful deceptions. These are not footnotes. They are the architecture of his mystique. The Aphex Twin tank is prime lore. The reality, a Daimler Ferret Mark III armored scout car, acquired via a shady Cornish exchange. He recounted the raw thrill of driving this metal beast, traffic instinctively parting. The engine's roar, too loud for music, became a sound source itself, its vibrations seeping into his recordings. The amplified myth of the tank perfectly illustrates his cultivated larger-than-life persona. He indeed resided in a former HSBC bank building in Elephant and Castle, South London, for roughly 6 years from around 1997. The vault's 4-foot-thick walls, he noted, solved noise and burglary problems in one fell swoop. This unconventional sanctuary, shared at times with associates like Square Pusher, birthed significant works like Window Liquor and Drugs. He gleefully propagated a sister myth that he lived inside the Faraday Memorial, a classic piece of Jamesian misdirection. The claim of composing while lucid dreaming, particularly for the ethereal Selected Ambient Works Volume 2, is key to his mystique. James spoke of waking and attempting to reconstruct dream-heard soundscapes, comparing the album's feel to standing in a power station on acid. The veracity of this method remains deliberately veiled, another thread in his personal mythology. A profoundly personal, perhaps unsettling narrative involves a stillborn older brother, also named Richard James, whose name he inherited. This story is often tethered to his 1996 Richard D. James album, its cover a distorted grin, its tracks evoking childhood. Interpretations suggest an exploration of loss and fractured identity. Yet, with James, the line between genuine trauma and curated myth is ever shifting, making this era particularly resonant and complex. Aphex Twin's output is a testament to radical diversity, defiantly uncategorizable. He's a sonic cartographer charting new territories across ambient, techno, acid, jungle, IDM, and experimental electronics. His IDM is a realm of hyper-complex programming, abstract sound design, and a signature glitch aesthetic. Sometimes dubbed drill and bass, works like the Richard D. James album and Drux showcase this meticulous, often frenetic digital craftsmanship, born from an early adoption of software synthesis. In stark contrast stands his monumental ambient work. Selected Ambient Works, 85 to 92, is a landmark, fusing lush, dreamlike soundscapes with oceanic beats. The later Selected Ambient Works Volume 2, largely beatless and atmospheric, delved even deeper. Inspired by synesthesia, its untitled tracks, identified only by abstract images, evoke immense, desolate yet serene vistas, a minimal meditative journey through textured synths and cavernous reverb. A recurring theme is the unsettling marriage of organic biological textures with stark digital or technological elements. This exploration of the uncanny valley where nature and machine blur is a hallmark of his experimental edge. His aliases are distinct sonic entities. AFX is raw, acidic, hardware-driven techno and breakbeat, exemplified by the analog Bubble Bath and Analord series, a deep immersion in vintage analog gear. Polygon Window. Known for surfing on sine waves, this alias signifies a colder, more geometric mathematical aesthetic with an ambient techno focusing on sine wave purity. Caustic Window unleashes a harsher, industrial, abrasive sound. The legendary, long unreleased Caustic Window LP finally surfaced via a fan-driven crowdfunding effort, revealing rugged acid techno, noisy assaults, and surprising ambient moments. Aphex Twin's visual identity is as potent and distinctive as his music, defined by an iconic logo and groundbreaking, often disturbing collaborations. The amorphous Aphex Twin symbol, designed by Paul Nicholson in the early 90s, is iconic. Hand-drawn, first appearing on the Xylem Tube EP, it's become a powerful sigil frequently used in cryptic guerrilla marketing campaigns. Rejecting electronic music's anonymity, James thrust his own face, often a leering, distorted grin into the spotlight. This culminated in his collaboration with director Chris Cunningham. The videos for Come to Daddy and Window Licker became cultural touchstones. Cunningham's style, unsettling realism, grotesque body horror, technological dread, and surreal mutations was amplified by digitally grafting James's grinning visage onto menacing visuals. This grotesque Aphex face became a subversive, unforgettable anti-brand. Live, James defies all convention. His sandpaper and blender sets from mid-90s saw him using sandpaper or electric razors as styly, or miking a kitchen blender, deliberately subverting avant-garde expectations. Other performances featured friends in teddy bear costumes with James's face crudely attached, dancing alongside female bodybuilders, while James himself might recline on a couch. Co-founded in Cornwall in 1991 by James and Grant Wilson Claridge, Rephlex Records was a vital conduit for Aphex Twin and a generation of innovators. Born from their DJing experiences in isolated Cornwall and a desire for otherwise inaccessible sounds, Rephlex aimed to promote innovation in the dynamics of acid. It became a London-based hub for experimental electronics, fostering artists like Squarepusher, Miu, Zeke, and Drexia. The label, a close-knit community, ceased in 2014. Rephlex coined Braindance as a musical style to define its philosophy, music encompassing the best elements of all genres, designed to engage the brain and emotions, not just the dance floor. An alternative to the sometimes criticized term IDM, Braindance was more inclusive, focused on the experiential and resisted restrictive labels, championing a sound often complex and analog-rich. Richard D. James's impact is undeniable. He pioneered styles, pushed technological boundaries, and redefined electronic music's potential for depth and emotional complexity. His influence stretches from Radiohead to Kanye West, Pharrell Williams, and countless contemporary electronic producers. His early mastery of software synthesizers, hyper-complex programming, and ability to evoke unique abstract moods cemented his legacy. Decoding Aphex Twin reveals a confluence of potent forces, the primal creativity of his Cornish crucible, the meticulously sculpted enigma of his public face, a mythology blurring fact and wild fiction, an astounding sonic spectrum, iconic visual language, and the enduring ethos of Rephlex. Yet, Richard D. James remains a phantom, a trickster figure perpetually shifting, perhaps engaging directly with fans online, always leaving us guessing. The rumored vast archives of unreleased music only deepen the mystery. He is an unsolved equation, a presence whose true dimensions may never be fully mapped. The ultimate invitation, then, is not to definitively crack the Aphex code, but to immerse oneself in the work itself, to listen, to feel, and to let the music in all its challenging, beautiful, and alien complexity transmit its own singular message. Sub.stantia Archive is where stories like this live, deep dives into the hidden currents of sound. Drop a thought in the comments. What's your favorite Aphex Twin moment, track, or myth? Thumbs up if this resonated. Share it if you think someone else could help us decode the signal. Thanks for watching.